The rain-slicked streets of San Francisco gleamed under the sodium glow of streetlights, but Alex Harper couldn't see the beauty in it anymore. His fists clenched around the crumpled eviction notice, the words blurring as hot tears mixed with the downpour. His LGBTQ+ youth center, the fragile heartbeat of his life's work, was being ripped away by faceless developers hungry for condos. And in that shattering moment, as thunder cracked like a judgment from the gods, his phone buzzed with a name he hadn't uttered in years. Jordan Hale, the boy who'd once laughed in his face and called his dreams a fairy tale for fairies. Alex's thumb hovered over the screen, heart pounding with a cocktail of rage and something dangerously close to longing. Jordan's voice, rough and urgent from the other end, cut through the storm. "I'm coming back, Alex. And this time, I'm not leaving until we save it, together." But trust was a luxury Alex couldn't afford. Not when the man who'd broken him before was now swearing to rebuild what he'd nearly destroyed. It had started innocently enough, back in the sticky summer haze of their small-town Ohio childhood, where secrets festered like weeds in cracked sidewalks. Alex and Jordan had been inseparable, two gangly kids with scraped knees and wild ambitions, trading comic books under the old oak in Alex's backyard. Jordan, with his easy grin and quarterback build, was the sun around which Alex orbited, the one who made the world feel less like a battlefield for a boy who knew, even at 12, that he loved differently. Alex's dreams were scribbled in spiral notebooks, stories of heroes who didn't hide, centers where kids like him could breathe without fear. Jordan would ruffle his hair and say, "You're gonna change the world, nerd," his laughter warm like sunlight filtering through leaves. But high school twisted everything. Jordan blossomed into the golden boy, captain of the football team, dates with cheerleaders, the kind of straight-laced charm that made adults beam. Alex, meanwhile, withered under whispers and locker room slurs, his notebooks filling with pleas disguised as fiction. The coming out happened in a burst of desperation one autumn night, after a party where Jordan had downed too many beers and Alex had mustered the courage over a bonfire's dying embers. "I'm gay, Jordan, and I think it's always been you." The silence stretched eternal. Then Jordan's laugh, sharp, disbelieving, sliced through the dark. "Dude, that's hilarious. You're messing with me, right? Come on, Alex, grow up. Dreams like that? They're for people who don't have real lives." The words landed like punches, each one cracking the foundation of their friendship. Jordan pulled away, burying himself in denial, in the safety of conformity, while Alex fled to San Francisco the day after graduation, vowing never to look back. The mockery lingered, a scar that made Alex question every ambition, every tender hope for love. Now, a decade later, Alex stood at the precipice of 40, his center, Haven House, a beacon in the Castro district for queer youth adrift in a city that preached progress but still chewed up the vulnerable. It was more than a building. It was Alex's redemption, funded by grants scraped from donors' pity and volunteers' sweat. Kids like Mia, a trans teen with eyes like shattered glass, found solace in its walls, sharing stories that mirrored Alex's own fractured youth. But the notice had come like a thief in the night. The landlord, pressured by a slick real estate firm, was selling out. Protests were planned, petitions circulated, but Alex knew the math. Without a miracle, Haven would fold. Jordan's call was that miracle, or the devil in disguise. He'd tracked Alex down through mutual friends, his voice stripped of boyish bravado, laced with a gravelly edge that spoke of hard miles. "I saw the article in the Chronicle. About the center. Alex, I was wrong. All of it. Let me help." Alex had hung up without a word, but the seed was planted, sprouting thorns of doubt through sleepless nights. The airport reunion was a collision of past and present. Jordan stepped off the plane looking like he'd been forged in the fires of regret. Taller, broader, his once boyish face etched with lines from Chicago winters and corporate battles. A lawyer now, specializing in property rights, he'd left a high-rise firm to chase this ghost. Alex waited at baggage claim, arms crossed, his lean frame swallowed by an oversized hoodie that hid the tattoos of rainbows and resilience inked along his arms. Their eyes met across the crowd, and for a heartbeat, the world narrowed to that electric pull, the one Alex had buried deep. "You came," Alex said, voice flat as the terminal floor. Jordan's duffel hit the ground with a thud. I owed you that much. More. The drive back to the city was a minefield of silences, punctuated by Jordan's halting apologies. I was scared, Alex. Scared of what it meant for me, for us. My dad. The town. It poisoned everything. Alex gripped the wheel tighter, the Golden Gate Bridge looming like a judgment. Scared? You humiliated me. Made me feel like my entire existence was a punchline. Jordan flinched, but didn't look away, his gaze tracing the sharp line of Alex's jaw, the way his dark curls clung damply from the fog. Haven House greeted them with chaos, posters plastered walls, volunteers huddled over laptops plotting rallies. Mia spotted Jordan first, her pierced brow arching. Who's the suit? She whispered, elbowing Alex. He introduced them curtly, watching as Jordan knelt to her level, asking about her art, sketches of fierce, winged figures that screamed defiance. Something softened in Alex then, a crack in the ice, as Jordan's genuine interest drew tentative smiles from the kids who'd learned to expect betrayal. But trust was a slow thaw. That first night, over takeout Ty in Alex's cramped office, Jordan laid out a plan, leverage his legal expertise to challenge the eviction on zoning violations, rally corporate donors from his network. We hit them with everything: public pressure, injunctions, media blitz. His passion was infectious, hands gesturing with the fire Alex remembered from their youth, but now channeled into salvation rather than scorn. Yet shadows lingered. Late into the night, as rain pattered against the window, Jordan confessed fragments, a string of failed relationships with women who sensed his half-hidden truths, therapy sessions where he'd finally named the ache for Alex that had terrified him into cruelty. I didn't mock you because I hated it. I mocked it because I wanted it. Wanted you, and it scared the hell out of me. Alex's breath caught, the air thickening with unspoken what-ifs. He stood abruptly, the chair scraping like a warning. Words are cheap, Jordan. Prove it in the fight. The battle ignited the next dawn. Jordan dove in with ferocity, filing motions that tied the developers in knots, his baritone commanding rooms of skeptical activists. Alex watched from the sidelines at first, coordinating with the kids, Mia leading mural projects to claim the space, young non-binary artist Theo crafting viral videos that tugged at heartstrings. But prejudice reared its head early. A board member, an older gay man jaded by decades of setbacks, cornered Alex. That straight savior complex? It's a trap. He'll bail when it gets ugly. Alex defended Jordan fiercely, surprising himself, but doubt not, especially when Jordan's ex, a polished PR exec named Lauren, showed up unannounced, her smile sharp as shattered glass. Lauren's arrival was a grenade lobbed into the fray. Jordan's always been the white knight. She purred over coffee in the center's lounge, eyes flicking to Alex with veiled disdain. But heroes burn out, especially when old flames flicker. She'd flown in from Chicago, ostensibly to support, but her whispers sowed discord, tales of Jordan's phases, his hesitation to come out fully, even now. Alex overheard her on a call, voice syrupy. Babe, this is a detour. Come home where you belong. The words echoed Jordan's old mockery, twisting fresh wounds. That evening, as the team prepped for a city hall rally, Alex confronted Jordan in the alley behind Haven, the air thick with exhaust and unspoken fury. Is this real? Or are you just slumming it for redemption points before you run back to your safe little life? Jordan's face crumpled, but anger flashed, raw, unfiltered. You think I flew across the country for a vacation? I left everything, Alex. My job, my apartment. Lauren's blowing up my phone because she knows I'm done pretending. He stepped closer, the space between them crackling. I'm here because I love you. Always have. And I'll burn the world down before I let them take this from you. The admission hung, a precipice. Alex's pulse thundered, memories flooding, stolen glances in high school halls, the brush of hands that lingered too long. He shoved Jordan back, not hard, but enough to reclaim space. Love? You don't get to say that after what you did. But as Jordan's eyes, storm gray and pleading, held his, Alex felt the walls tremble. The rally that night was electric. Jordan on the steps, voice booming against the wind, weaving legal jargon with personal fire. This isn't just a building, it's a sanctuary. and we'll fight like hell to keep it standing." Cheers erupted, signs waving like battle flags. But in the crowd, Alex spotted shadows. Counter-protesters from a conservative group, their placards spewing hate, chanting slurs that hit like shrapnel. The first real blow landed a week later, in the form of a leaked email chain. Developers had dug into Jordan's past, unearthing high school photos. Jordan arm in arm with cheerleaders, a clip of him at a frat party dismissing gay jokes with uneasy laughs. It went viral, twisted by trolls into fraudulent ally smears. Reporters swarmed Haven, microphones thrusting like accusations. "Mr. Hale, are you using this cause for PR? Or is there more to your sudden interest in the queer community?" Jordan faced them stone-faced, but inside, Alex saw the fracture. Late nights poring over documents, eyes red-rimmed, whispering, "They'll use anything to break us." Alex's own demons stirred. Mia, sensing the tension, pulled him aside during a workshop. "He's fighting for you, Alex. But what if he's fighting himself too?" Her words pierced, forcing Alex to confront the mirror, his own fears of vulnerability, the way he'd armored his heart after years of rejections. One evening, as volunteers cleared out, Alex found Jordan slumped against the mural wall, head in hands. Without thinking, Alex slid down beside him, their shoulders brushing, a spark in the dim light. "I almost quit once," Alex murmured. "After you. Throughout every notebook, every plan. Thought maybe you were right. It was all a delusion." Jordan turned, his hand finding Alex's in the shadows, tentative as a prayer. "Then let me spend the rest of my life proving I was wrong." The touch lingered, warm against the chill, and for the first time, Alex didn't pull away. It was a fragile bridge, but in the quiet, it held. As weeks blurred into a relentless siege, alliances formed and fractured with breathtaking speed. Theo's videos exploded on social media, drawing celebrity endorsements, a drag queen icon pledging funds, a senator tweeting solidarity. But betrayal struck from within. The jaded board member, Harlan, leaked internal emails to the press, painting Jordan as a closet case opportunist to force him out. "We don't need straight saviors muddying the waters," Harlan snarled in a closed meeting, his face a mask of righteous fury born from his own unspoken pains. The room erupted, accusations flying, loyalties tested. Alex stood at the center, voice steady. "This isn't about who we were. It's about who we choose to be now." Harlan's defection was a gut punch, but it galvanized the core team. Jordan, undeterred, uncovered a smoking gun. The developer's firm had ties to anti-LGBTQ+ donors, funneling money through shell companies. He drafted a lawsuit that could topple empires. Working through feverish nights with Alex at his side, coffee-fueled marathons where laughter slipped in amid the tension, old inside jokes resurfacing like buried treasures. One dawn, as sunlight pierced the blinds, Jordan paused mid-sentence, his gaze softening. "You still write those stories?" Alex nodded, sheepish. "Kept one. About two idiots who almost lost everything." Jordan's smile was a sunrise. "Read it to me sometime." The moment stretched, charged with possibility, until Mia burst in with news. A massive donor conference in 2 days, their last shot at funding. The conference was a glittering viper's nest, suits and schmoozers in a downtown ballroom, chandeliers dripping opulence over canapes. Alex and Jordan arrived as a united front, Alex in a tailored blazer that hugged his frame, Jordan's hand brushing his lower back in silent support. They pitched Haven with raw passion, Alex's stories of transformed lives, Jordan's data on community impact. Eyes lit up, checks were promised. But Lauren lurked in the wings, her red dress a slash of warning. She cornered Jordan during the cocktail hour, voice low and venomous. "This charade ends now. Your family's expecting you at Thanksgiving. Traditional, remember? Not playing house with your high school crush." Jordan's jaw tightened, but before he could retort, Alex appeared, sliding an arm around Jordan's waist, a bold claim that silenced the room. "He's where he belongs," Alex said, eyes locked on Lauren's. The gesture rippled outward, whispers turning to nods of approval. Yet victory soured when Harlan's final sabotage hit. Anonymous tips to donors about internal drama, scaring off half the pledges. Devastation crashed over them like a wave. Back at Haven, The team gathered in a huddle of despair, faces streaked with defeat. "We can't lose this," Theo choked out, fists balled. Jordan paced, then stopped, turning to Alex with a fire that reignited hope. "We go public. Full exposure. My story, yours, everything. No more hiding." It was suicide and salvation intertwined. Alex hesitated, the old fear clawing back. Exposure meant reliving the mockery on a national stage. But Jordan's hand on his shoulder was anchor. "Together," he whispered. The press conference was a gauntlet. Cameras flashed like gunfire as Alex took the podium, voice trembling at first, then stealing. He spoke of Ohio nights, of a friend's betrayal that nearly silenced him, of building haven from those ashes. Jordan followed, unflinching. "I was the villain in his story once. Ignorant, afraid. But love, real, messy love, changes you. And I'll fight every shadow to protect what he built." The words landed, raw and revolutionary, trending within minutes. Allies surged. Protests swelled. Lawyers volunteered pro bono. Even Harlan cracked, mailing a tearful apology from his sickbed. But the climax brewed in shadows. The developers, cornered, lashed out with a midnight raid, bulldozers idling at Haven's gates, security guards herding out the night shift volunteers. Alex arrived to chaos, Mia barricading doors with furniture, Theo live-streaming the standoff. Jordan sprinted from his car, tackling a guard who swung a baton too close. Fists flew in the melee, sirens wailing distant. Alex pulled Jordan back, their breaths mingling in the fray. "Not like this," he gasped. But Jordan's eyes blazed. "For you? Like this and more." Dawn broke with a standoff. Riot police circling, media helicopters thumping overhead. In the eye of the storm, Alex and Jordan stood shoulder to shoulder on the steps, hands clasped defiantly. A negotiator approached, terms in hand, developers backing off, a lease extension bought with public fury. Cheers exploded as the machines retreated, but the true victory was quieter. Jordan turning to Alex, voice hushed amid the roar. "I meant it. Every word. Marry me? Not for show, for us." Alex's laugh was tear-choked, the world fading to just them. "Yes, but only if you promise to never mock my dreams again." Jordan pulled him close, foreheads touching. "Never. They're ours now." Months later, Haven stood stronger, expansions funded by the surge of support that followed the siege. Alex's notebooks filled anew, stories woven with threads of redemption and resilience. While Jordan traded boardrooms for community law, his coming out a quiet ripple that reshaped their shared world. Yet peace was tentative, laced with the undercurrents of what lingered unspoken. Mia thrived, her art gracing gallery walls, but she watched Alex and Jordan with a sage's knowing eye. "Happily ever after? That's just the intermission," she'd quip, her laughter a balm. The first real test came unbidden, in the form of Jordan's family. A letter arrived from Ohio, his mother, frail script trembling on the page, inviting them to a reconciliation dinner. Jordan stared at it over breakfast, cereal spoon suspended. They saw the news. Dad still. Him. Bible quotes and all. Alex set down his mug, the ceramic warm against his palm. "We don't have to go, but if we do, it's on our terms." Jordan's nod was grateful, but shadows danced in his eyes. The boy who'd once bent to paternal expectations wrestling the man who'd learned to stand. The drive east was an odyssey of Americana. Cornfields blurring into interstates, radio static carrying snippets of their story, pundits debating woke activism versus heartland values. They stopped at motels with neon vacancy signs, nights tangled in tentative intimacies, hands exploring scars, both literal and not, whispers unraveling years of what-ifs. "I dreamed of this," Jordan admitted one twilight, fingers tracing Alex's collarbone. "Even when I was pushing you away." Alex's response was a kiss, soft, claiming, a seal on fragile vows. The Hale farmhouse loomed like a sentinel, white clapboard weathered by Midwest winds, the porch swing creaking under ghosts. Jordan's mother, Evelyn, enveloped them in hugs scented with lavender and regret, her eyes, mirrors of her son's, brimming. "We've been watching. Proud, Jordan. And sorry, Alex, for the boy we raised wrong." But Richard Hale waited in the den, broad-shouldered and unyielding. a King James Bible open on his lap like armor. Dinner unfolded in brittle civility. Mashed potatoes passed in silence, small talk skirting the chasm. Then Richard cleared his throat, voice gravelly. Saw you on TV, son. Fighting for that place. Noble, I suppose. But the good book says. Save it, Dad, Jordan interjected, fork clattering. The room froze. Alex isn't that place. He's the man I love. And Haven? It's saving lives you pretend don't exist. Richard's face reddened, veins bulging, but Evelyn's hand on his arm stayed the storm. Alex spoke then, voice even. Mr. Hale, I get it. Fear's a hell of a teacher. But love? It's the only gospel that matters. The words hung, a challenge and an olive branch. Richard's gaze flickered to the family photo on the mantel, Jordan at 12, arms slung around a grinning Alex. Something cracked. He pushed back his chair, retreating to the yard without a word. Later, under star-pricked skies, Jordan found his father by the barn, pipe smoke curling like confessions. You broke my heart, boy, Richard rumbled. Not because of him. Because I taught you to hide. The admission was a dam breaking. Stories of his own unspoken longings. A cousin lost to AIDS in the 80s, silenced by shame. Father and son embraced awkwardly, the first in years, and when they returned, Richard extended a hand to Alex. Welcome home, son. It was an absolution, but it was a beginning, tentative, tear-streaked, profoundly human. Back in San Francisco, the afterglow faded into new frictions. Theo, ever the firebrand, launched a podcast series on Haven's triumphs, but his episodes veered into raw territory. Interviews with exiles from conservative clans, tales of conversion therapies that left psyches in ruins. One guest, a young man named Riley, fresh from Ohio, stirred ghosts. His story echoed too closely. A best friend turned tormentor, dreams deferred by small-town bigotry. Alex mentored him, but Jordan bristled, sensing parallels that poked old wounds. He's using you, Jordan muttered after a session, pacing the apartment. Like Harlan did, turning pain into leverage. Alex's temper flared, the first real rift since the proposal. And you didn't? Mocking me to feel big. The words were a slap, echoing the alley fight. Jordan recoiled, hurt etching deep. I'm trying, Alex. Every day. They slept apart that night. The bed a chasm, but dawn brought coffee and contrition. We're both scarred, Alex said, bridging the gap with touch. Doesn't mean we're doomed. Jordan pulled him close, the reconciliation a reaffirmation, fiercer for the fracture. Yet external tempests gathered. The developers, licking wounds, filed a countersuit, alleging fraud in Haven's funding. Tabloids twisted it into scandal. Queer centers shady allies. Reporters camped outside, one ambush catching Jordan off guard. Sources say you're in it for the optics. Bisexual fling with the founder? Jordan's denial was ice. My sexuality's private. My commitment? Ironclad. But the damage rippled. Mia fielded hate mail, Theo's streams trolled by bots. Alex felt the weight. Dreams he'd guarded now public prey. In the thick of depositions, a twist blindsided them. Lauren, Jordan's ex, emerged as the leak's architect. Her motive? Spurned fury, amplified by a book deal pitching, the inside story of a gay awakening gone wrong. She testified with crocodile tears, painting Jordan as manipulative, Alex as naive. The courtroom was a coliseum, judge impartial, but public opinion a mob. Jordan's cross-examination was masterful, dismantling her claims with emails and timelines, but the emotional toll carved hollows under his eyes. Alex supported from the wings, but doubt crept in during quiet hours. What if she's right? He confessed to Mia over late-night pizza. What if this pulls us under? Mia's response was fierce. Then you fight smarter. Love isn't passive, it's the weapon. Inspired, Alex rallied the community, a counter-campaign of testimonies, videos from Riley and others, humanizing the stakes. The judge ruled in their favor. Countersuit dismissed, developers ordered to pay damages, but victory tasted bittersweet when Lauren's book hit shelves, a venomous bestseller. The backlash was swift. Threats scrawled on Haven's walls, anonymous calls laced with slurs. Jordan insisted on round-the-clock security, his protectiveness bordering on possession. I won't lose you to this, he'd growl. checking locks obsessively. Alex chafed, the dynamic echoing old patterns. Jordan as savior, Alex as fragile. It boiled over during a fundraiser gala, champagne flutes clinking amid drag performances and donor schmoozing. A tipsy activist cornered Alex. Your fiancé's got that straight boy hero vibe. Careful, he might clip your wings. The seed took root, and when Jordan later snapped at Alex for mingling too freely with Riley, the explosion was inevitable. You're smothering me, Alex shouted in their hotel suite, the city lights mocking below. This isn't protection, it's control. Just like before. Jordan's face drained of color. I'm scared, damn it. Every threat feels like failure, like I can't keep you safe. The vulnerability cracked them open, confessions spilling. Jordan's therapy revelations about abandonment fears, Alex's buried terror of repeating his father's rejection, a distant man who disowned his queer son years prior. They collapsed onto the bed, sobs mingling, rebuilding from the bedrock of truth. Healing came in layers. Jordan stepped back, joining therapy with Alex, sessions where they unpacked the mockery's roots. Jordan's internalized homophobia, a weed pulled slow. In turn, Alex shared his writing, the story of two idiots, evolving into a manuscript pitched to publishers. Acceptance followed. A small press deal, launch tied to Haven's anniversary. The reading was intimate. Friends, family, survivors packed the center. Jordan in the front row, eyes shining as Alex voiced their shared redemption. But fate, ever the trickster, reserved one final twist. Evelyn's call came mid-book tour. Richard, felled by a stroke, whispering regrets from his hospital bed. They flew east, the plane a cocoon of nerves. In the sterile room, Richard's hand, frail now, gripped Jordan's. Tell him. Sorry. For the boy. For the dreams I mocked too. Alex, at the bedside, nodded, tears tracing silent paths. Forgiven, he whispered. Richard's smile was peace, his passing a gentle close to old chapters. The funeral was a tapestry of contradictions. Hymns mingling with eulogies from queer cousins long estranged. Jordan's vows to Alex read aloud as a quiet rebellion. Back home, they scattered his ashes under the old oak in Ohio. Full circle, roots reclaiming what time had scarred. With Richard's shadow lifted, Jordan and Alex's life unfurled like a long-held breath. The book soared, its pages a beacon drawing letters from readers. Youth echoing Alex's isolation. Elders nodding at Jordan's arc. Haven expanded, a second location blooming in Oakland. Theo helming its creative programs. Mia, now a tattoo artist specializing in affirmation ink, etched unbreakable on Alex's wrist during a celebratory session, her needle a ritual of permanence. Yet depth demanded growth, and conflicts simmered beneath the surface calm. Jordan's law practice boomed, specializing in LGBTQ+ rights cases, but late nights bred distance. Alex, immersed in a sequel manuscript, felt the pull of neglect. We're coexisting, not connecting, he vented to a writing group, words landing heavier than intended. One member, a poet named Elias, lithe, with ink-stained fingers and a gaze that lingered, offered empathy that bordered on flirtation. Art needs space to breathe, Elias said over post-meeting drinks, his hand brushing Alex's in commiseration. Guilt gnawed at Alex, but the spark was innocent fuel for his pages, scenes of temptation testing fidelity, mirrors to unspoken strains. Jordan sensed the shift during a rare date night at a waterfront bistro, candlelight dancing on his furrowed brow. Who's the new muse? He teased, but the edge was there, honed by intuition. Alex deflected with a laugh, but the seed of misunderstanding took root, watered by exhaustion. The eruption came circuitously. Theo, ever the gossip conduit, mentioned Elias's crush in a group chat, emojis masking malice. Jordan confronted Alex at dawn, coffee pot shattering in the sink. Am I fighting for nothing? Again. His voice cracked, old insecurities roaring back, the fear of inadequacy, of being the punchline in someone else's redemption. Alex's denial was fervent, but hurt laced it. You think I'd throw us away? After everything. The argument spiraled, accusations flying like shrapnel, Jordan's workaholism a cage, Alex's secrecy a betrayal. They separated for a week. Jordan crashing at a colleague's. Alex holing up at Haven with Mia's spare couch. Solitude sharpened regrets. Alex journaling feverishly, pages bleeding vulnerability. Jordan in therapy, unpacking the savior trap that masked his terror of loss. Reconciliation brewed in a neutral space. A park bench overlooking the bay, fog rolling like forgiveness. I overreacted, Jordan admitted, handing Alex a worn notebook. His own, filled with unsent letters from their apart years. Read them. See me, the real me. Alex did, under the dappled light, words unraveling knots, apologies for mockery, odes to stolen dreams, pleas for a second chance penned in lonely Chicago nights. Tears blurred ink, and when Alex looked up, Jordan was there, kneeling, ring glinting anew. Marry me properly. Ceremony, vows, the works. Because I choose you, every shadowed day. Alex's yes was a vow in itself, sealing fractures with intention. Wedding planning was a whirlwind of joy laced with tension. Venues booked amid protests for trans rights. Guest lists navigating old wounds. Richard's absence loomed, but Evelyn stepped in, her quilts a tangible warmth for the reception. Invites went to Riley, now a Haven counselor, and even Harlan, whose health scare had humbled him to an olive branch RSVP. Elias declined gracefully, his note to Alex a gentle closure. Your story's the one that matters. Write it true. The ceremony unfolded on a crisp autumn afternoon in Golden Gate Park, under a canopy of redwoods that whispered approval. Alex, in a suit of midnight blue embroidered with subtle rainbows, walked the aisle to an acoustic cover of True Colors, Mia at his arm, her grin defiant. Jordan waited, eyes locked, his tux crisp against the natural sprawl. Vows were poetry forged in fire. Alex promising to hold space for your shadows as you do mine. Jordan vowing to champion your dreams as fiercely as my own heartbeat. Rings exchanged, a kiss that silenced doubts, tender, triumphant, tasting of salt and forever. Honeymoon in Big Sur was respite, cliffside hikes, waves crashing symphonies to their laughter. But reality intruded subtly, a call from Theo about a new threat, city budget cuts eyeing Haven's grants. Moon's over, Jordan joked, but his grip tightened on Alex's hand. Back home, they dove in tandem, Jordan lobbying council members, Alex penning op-eds that stirred public outcry. Success came narrow, but it bonded them deeper. Partners in battle, equals in vision. Personal growth bloomed amid the bustle. Alex's sequel delved into polyamory myths, challenging norms within queer circles, sparking debates at readings that left him exhilarated and drained. Jordan, inspired, co-authored a legal guide for queer families, his byline a bridge to the community he'd once scorned. Date nights became sacred. Picnics in the Presidio, where they'd recount remember wins with humor, turning scars to stories. A surprise pregnancy announcement from Mia, via IVF with her partner, rippled joy through their circle, prompting talks of family. Kids, Jordan mused one evening, head on Alex's lap. Someday, teaching them to dream without apology. Alex smiled, but a pang hit. His own father's ghost, the disownment a chasm unbridged. He penned a letter then, mailed to a nursing home address unearthed online. Forgiveness offered, not demanded. The reply came weeks later, shaky handwriting. Proud of the man you became. Sorry I couldn't see it sooner. Closure, bittersweet, freed space for futures. Yet prejudice's tendrils reached far. A national bill loomed, anti-trans legislation disguised as parental rights, threatening Haven's programs. Activists mobilized, Jordan at the forefront with amicus briefs, Alex testifying in D.C., his voice steady amid jeers. The hearings were crucibles, senators grilling with veiled barbs, promoting agendas over children. Jordan's rebuttals were scalpel-sharp, but post-session, in a hotel bar, exhaustion cracked them. Are we tilting at windmills? Alex wondered, bourbon burning. Jordan's hand covered his. Windmills fall. Look at us. The bill passed narrowly, but carve-outs preserved local protections, a pyrrhic when fueling fiercer resolve. Back in the Bay, they hosted a resilience retreat. Yoga on the roof, storytelling circles where Riley shared his Ohio exodus, now reframed as empowerment. Harlan attended, his presence awkward but earnest, toasting to second acts. As winter blanketed the city in rare snow, Alex and Jordan curled by the fire, manuscript pages scattered. "What's next?" Jordan asked, tracing patterns on Alex's skin. "More dreams," Alex replied. "Ours and everyone else's." The fire crackled a scent, embers glowing like promises kept. Spring thawed new horizons, but with bloom came thorns. Elias re-entered the orbit indirectly, his poetry collection dedicated to Alex, lines echoing their brief connection with haunting intimacy. Reviews hailed it as a queer odyssey of unrequited fire, thrusting Alex into spotlights he'd dodged. Talk shows probed. Inspiration or intrusion? Alex navigated with grace, crediting Jordan publicly, but privately, the echo stirred unease. "It's flattering," he confessed, "but it feels like unfinished business." Jordan, buried in a class-action suit against conversion camps, internalized it as threat. Their intimacy frayed. Nights parallel on the couch, screens barriers. Mia noticed first, pulling Alex for a walk along Ocean Beach, waves pounding like unspoken fears. "Talk to him, before it festers." That evening, over homemade lasagna, Alex broached it. "Elias's book. It's stirring stuff up. Not doubt in us, but in me. Old patterns of hiding feelings." Jordan listened, jaw tight, then exhaled. "I get scared you'll see in him what I couldn't give back then." Vulnerability bridged, they recommitted. Weekly unplugged evenings, no devices, just presence. The suit Jordan led was a leviathan. Survivors from reparative facilities, testimonies raw as open wounds. Alex attended hearings, his presence a talisman, but one witness, a young woman named Clara, eyes hollowed by electroshock scars, unraveled him. Her story mirrored his unspoken dreads, family coercion, dreams electrocuted into silence. Post-trial, they volunteered together at a survivor hotline, voices in the night offering lifelines. It deepened their bond, Jordan's legal victories a shield, Alex's empathy the sword. A curveball arrived via Evelyn, a family heirloom, Richard's old pocket watch, engraved, "Time heals, but love mends." With it came news, she'd started dating a widower from church who doesn't quote Leviticus at breakfast. Her joy was infectious, prompting a visit where they met Harold, gentle, with a penchant for birdwatching and quiet allyship. "Your dad's spirit lives in you, Jordan," Harold said, clapping his shoulder. "Proud to be part of this." The weekend was healing, barbecues with rainbow flags fluttering, stories swapped without shame. Back west, Theo's ambition ignited friction. His podcast pivoted to investigative journalism, targeting pinkwashing corporations, companies touting rainbow logos while funding anti-queer pawns. One episode spotlighted Jordan's old firm, pre-resignation audits revealing donations to dubious PACs. No names, Theo swore, but the implication scorched. Jordan felt betrayed, storming into Haven. "This could tank my cred, make me the hypocrite poster boy." Theo stood firm. "Truth over comfort. You taught me that." Alex mediated, heartsick. "We're on the same side. But blind sides hurt." The fallout was a pressure cooker. Jordan boycotting Theo's events, Alex torn between loyalties. Nights stretched tense, until a compromise brewed. Joint episode where Jordan addressed his past head-on, owning complicity. "I was part of the machine. Now I'm dismantling it." The transparency won respect. Theo's apology a bridge, didn't mean to hit family. It reinforced their circle's resilience, fractures mending stronger. Summer brought levity, a road trip to Pride in LA, convertible top-down, playlist blasting anthems. They camped in Joshua Tree, stars a canopy for stargazing confessions. Jordan admitting boyhood crushes on Alex masked as roughhousing. Alex revealing a teenage journal entry proposing elopement. Laughter healed what words couldn't, their love a roadmap redrawn. But autumn whispered warnings. Riley, thriving at Haven, announced a run for local office, queer youth advocate. Campaign trail meant spotlights, and with it, digs into his past. Unearthed text from his Ohio tormentor, twisted to question his motives. Is he stable? Smears flew. Alex mentored him through it, drawing parallels to his own scrutiny. Haters amplify echoes. You define the chorus. Jordan handled legal vetting, quashing libels with injunctions. The election night was electric. Watch party at Haven, balloons bobbing as tallies ticked. Riley's win, narrow but seismic, erupted cheers, confetti raining. In the melee, Jordan pulled Alex aside. Seeing him fight reminds me why we do this. Their kiss amid the chaos was a vow renewed. As leaves turned, Alex's book tour climaxed in New York, readings in indie shops buzzing with energy. One Q&A turned profound, a teen asking, "How do you forgive the mocker?" Alex paused, glancing at Jordan in the wings. "You don't always, but you let them fight beside you. Earn the grace." Applause thundered, but backstage, emotion crested. "That was us," Jordan murmured, holding him close. Winter's hush brought introspection. Evelyn visited for holidays, her stories of Harold weaving family anew. Mia's baby shower, gender-neutral, joy unbound, sparked talks of surrogacy. Our turn. Alex wondered, hand on Jordan's. When the world's ready. And we're unbreakable. Yet a shadow loomed. National headlines of rising hate crimes, a queer center torched in the South. Solidarity vigils dotted cities, Haven's a sea of candles. Jordan spoke. "We light against the dark, not out of fear, but fire." Alex's essay in the Times followed, from mockery to militancy, going viral, donations surging. In quiet aftermath, they dreamed aloud. A foundation, global reach. "Your vision," Jordan said. "Our legacy." The new year dawned with momentum, but inertia's pull tested resolve. Jordan's firm expanded, cases stacking like dominoes. Everything from custody battles to asylum pleas for queer refugees. Commutes stretched, dinners microwaved, and Alex's third book stalled, cursor blinking accusation. "We're drifting," Alex said over breakfast, toast crumbs witnesses. Jordan nodded, weary. "Let's anchor, sabbatical. Just us." They chose Portland, rainy haven of bookstores and breweries, a month unplugged. Mornings wandered markets, afternoons in cafes where Alex wrote longhand, Jordan sketched case strategies on napkins. Evenings by the fireplace, bodies entwined, rediscovering rhythms. One storm-lashed night, thunder rumbling, Jordan proposed a radical, adopt. Not biological, but a kid from the system, queer, needing home. Alex's heart swelled. "Yes, when we build the nest." Return invigorated, but reality bit. Theo's expose series unearthed a scandal. A prominent donor to Haven with ties to exploitative labor abroad. Ethical minefield, Jordan warned, but Alex insisted on transparency. Public audit, returned funds. Backlash stung. Whispers of ungrateful, donors fleeing. Mia rallied. Integrity over cash. Always. The purge hurt, but it purified, attracting ethical backers, small but steadfast. Personal tides turned too. Riley's council seat brought policy wins, expanded youth shelters, but constituents unearthed his past deeper, a leaked psych eval from Ohio days painting instability. Smears escalated. Unfit for office. Jordan armored him legally, Alex coaching media poise. One debate night, Riley shone. "My scars? Their strategy. Teaching resilience." Re-election secured. He credited them. Mentors made the man. Evelyn's wedding to Harold was a sun-dappled affair in Ohio. Jordan best man, Alex groomsman in a twist of joy. Vows exchanged under the oak. Toasts blending faith and fabulousness. "Love evolves," Harold said, dancing with Alex. "Like seasons." The honeymoon gift, a down payment on a family home in the Castro, modest, but theirs. Spring unpacked boxes, walls echoing potential. But grief ambushed. Alex's father, the distant disowner, passed quietly. Cancer, unannounced. The funeral was sparse, a cousin's call the summons. Alex went alone, Jordan's support long distance. In the chapel, eulogies glossed over absences, but Alex spoke. He taught endurance, if not embrace. "Rest easy, Dad." Graveside, he scattered Jordan's watch chain, a symbol of mended time. Catharsis washed, paving for parenthood. Surrogacy journey began. Clinics, contracts, hopes fragile as embryos. Matches faltered, one surrogate backing out, heart-wrenching. "Patience," their counselor urged. Meanwhile, Haven's third site in Sacramento hit snags. Zoning bigotry, council delays. Jordan litigated, Alex fundraised, but a bomb threat evacuated an event, fear coiling tight. Not again, Mia whispered, hugging Theo. They bolstered security, but the chill lingered. A breakthrough came via Clara, the conversion survivor, now an advocate. Her testimony key in a landmark ruling banning such therapies. Jordan's team won, headlines hailing end of an era. Celebrations at Haven flowed. Champagne toasts, Clara's speech tearful. You gave me voice. Now I amplify yours. Summer heat wave mirrored inner fires. Alex's book resumed, chapters pulsing with paternal ghosts resolved. Jordan mentored law interns, queer talents he'd once overlooked. Date night surprise. Jordan blindfolded Alex to a rooftop cinema, screening their high school rom-com guilty pleasure. Laughter bridged decades, kisses under stars reaffirming. But autumn's harvest soured with Lauren's sequel, a memoir sequel, Betrayed by the Rainbow, dredging old lies. Sales spiked on controversy, talk shows inviting her venom. Jordan sued for defamation, but Alex intervened. Don't feed the beast. Counter with truth. They co-wrote an op-ed, From Foe to Family, exposing manipulation. Public swung, her platform crumbling. Winter brought bounty, surrogacy match. Emma, a lesbian artist with warmth like sunlight. Consults clicked, IVF underway. Scans showed promise, joy tentative. Holidays with Evelyn and Harold. Tree trimming, tales of baby-proofing. Mia's son, little Kai, toddled into their laps. Rehearsals for fatherhood. Yet a crisis crested. National recession nipped grants, Haven teetering. Protests reignited. Jordan marching with Alex, signs aloft. Media frenzy peaked when a developer, echo of old foes, bid on the Sacramento site. Standoff echoed the first battle, barricades, chants, Jordan's injunctions flying. Victory narrow, but spirits soared. As snow fell, Emma's call confirmed, viable pregnancy. Ultrasounds revealed a boy, names brainstormed. Harper Hale, dreams embodied. The pregnancy's glow illuminated everything, but anticipation bred anxieties. Jordan paced nurseries to be, paint swatches in hand. Alex journaled paternal fears, verses for an unborn son. Prenatal classes bonded them, breathing exercises turning to laughter at Jordan's earnest flops. We'll wing it, Alex teased. Like everything else. Haven's expansion stabilized, Riley's policies funneling city funds. Theo's series won awards, his apology tour strengthening ties. Mia's tattoo parlor boomed, Kai's giggles a soundtrack to sessions. Clara founded a support network, chapters sprouting nationwide. Spring birthed milestones. Baby shower at the park, rainbow balloons bobbing. Evelyn co-hosting with stories of Jordan's infancy. Gifts unwrapped, tiny onesies with future activists, amid toasts to legacies. But shadows nipped. Emma's checkups flagged stress, bedrest ordered. Blame the world's weight, she joked, but worry etched them. Alex channeled it into writing, his trilogy complete, Dreams Unmocked, a saga of queer endurance. Launch in DC coincided with Pride March, Jordan strapping on a baby carrier prototype for solidarity. Readings packed, fans sharing arcs mirroring theirs. One letter gutted. A teen from Ohio, your story saved me from quitting. Jordan read it aloud that night, voice thick. We're the miracle now. Summer swelled bellies and hopes. Emma's art commissions funding extras, crib mobiles of storybook heroes. Jordan's caseload lightened, pro bono for refugee families. A weekend getaway to wine country, vineyard strolls, sunset vows renewed. From mockery to this, Jordan marveled, hand on Alex's growing circle of care. Autumn's harvest ripened with harvest moon birth. Elias Harper Hale arrived at dawn, cry piercing like triumph. Hospital room a cocoon, Emma beaming, Evelyn tearful, Mia snapping photos. Jordan cut the cord, trembling. Alex held him first, tiny fist clutching finger. Our dream, he whispered. Fatherhood unfolded in symphonies of chaos. Sleepless nights, tag-teaming feeds. Elias's coups melting exhaustion. Haven adapted, parent-toddler groups. Alex leading story hours with his books. Jordan balanced court with playdates, his tenderness a revelation. Challenges wove in. Colic cries echoing old cries, societal side-eyes at two dad families. A park encounter, stares from a bigoted jogger, steeled resolve. They see difference, Jordan said, pushing the stroller. We see destiny. Elias's first marked rhythms, rolling, babbling data ambiguous but cherished. Mia's family merged playgroups, Kai and Elias tumbling like brothers. Theo documented a queer dad's vlog, lighthearted amid milestones. A year on, Elias's birthday bash packed haven. Cakes iced rainbow, balloons aloft. Speeches flowed, Riley on policy protections, Clara on healing lineages. Evelyn danced with Elias, Harold snapping pics. As dusk fell, Alex pulled Jordan aside. Under the mural Mia had expanded, winged figures now cradling children. You fought harder than I ever could, Alex said, echoing the title that started it all. Jordan's kiss was answer. We fought together. And we'll keep going. For him, for us, for every dream unbroken. The circle widened, stories spawning stories. Elias's laughter the hook for futures untold. In San Francisco's embrace, where rain once drowned hopes, love now thundered eternal.